Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the technical session 8C. Myself, Anshika Jain, and this session would be moderated by me. I, on the behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GI Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the Third World Conference on Information Systems for Business Management, ISBM 2024, Bangkok, Thailand. The third edition of the conference is being organized in the hybrid mode. The physical event was organized yesterday in Bangkok, Thailand, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom yesterday and today, that is 12th and 13th September 2024. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we have 6 presentations, and each presenter would be given 12 minutes for the presentation and 3 minutes for the questions and answers. On 10 minutes, I will raise a very gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or any update, then you can write it to me in the chat box below. Just before we get started with the session, I would like to introduce you to the chair of this session, Dr. Prashant Dhatre, Professor, MIT School of Engineering, MIDH University, Pune, India. Sir has more than 17 years of teaching and research experience. Currently, he is working as a professor in the Department of Information Technology of MIT School of Engineering, Pune. His publication includes more than 25 papers in international conferences and journals. His research interests include algorithms, privacy, and Turing machine. Welcome to the session, sir. Would you like to share a quick opening remark with us?
Yeah, Anshika, thank you so much for the grand welcome. I wish you all the best, all the participants. Wish you good luck and looking forward for the wonderful presentations from everyone. Thank you.
Okay. So we'll be beginning with the first presentation. First, we have Irina to present her paper titled Analysis of the Environmental Aspect of Global Trends, Determining the Transformation of Facial Mechanisms in the Context of New Technological Paradigms. Are you there, ma'am? Are you there, ma'am? Okay. So we will be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Punita to present her paper titled Early Earthquake Prediction Using Machine Learning Algorithm. Are you there, ma'am?
I'm here.
Yeah, ma'am. Can you please begin your presentation?
Yeah, I'm begin my presentation, but last 2 days I'm very much suffering from my from fever. That's why can I present my paper through papers only, not from PPT?
Okay, ma'am. Whatever you feel comfortable, kindly go with it.
So can I present or not?
Yes, ma'am. You can present.
The screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
Good morning to all of you. Myself Punita Pawar, and my paper topic is earlier earthquake prediction using machine learning. Recently, earthquake prediction is a very crucial activity in the real world, and according to earthquake prediction, we can save many lives, many areas, and we can save several human lives. So, in this work, we found various machine learning algorithm we have applied for earthquake prediction. But one of the algorithm is achieved to highest accuracy. That is Gaussian Navy Bayes algorithm. It is achieved highest accuracy 91.89%. Earthquake prediction can be classified into the 5 categories. Earthquake prediction can be flood, cyclone, landscape, and avalanche. In the earthquake prediction, there are 5 categories of magnitude, and according to magnitude, we can predict the how big earthquake will happen. So these categories are mentioned here. When magnitude is 2.5 or less, then earthquake class is minor. So there are the see there are the 6 classes of magnitude, and according to these classes we can predict the magnitude, how big magnitude will happen. So if the magnitude range is 2.5 or less, then the minor it belongs to the minor class. And if the magnitude is 2.5 to 5.4, then the class is moderate. And if the magnitude class is 5.5 to 6.0, then the class is very clearly moderate, and uppercase lightly moderate, and in below case clearly moderate. And when the earthquake range is 8.0 and higher, then the very big and huge earthquake will happen. So according to these categories, CI can give the protection to the rural areas and other areas when the earthquake scenario is clearly depending on the magnitude range. So according to magnitude range, we can predict the future earthquake, and we can save the many lives, and we can uh, save many areas for damage the buildings and human lives. These are the machine learning areas which we can apply on this data set. And our data set processing, we took the data set from the public data. It is a public data set, and then we can apply data cleaning, data visualization, and data splitting. We can split it. We splitted the data set into this 80% and 20%. 80% data we used for training, and 20% data we used for testing. This is the data visualization part, and this is our result part, in which we have applied the Gaussian Navy Bayes algorithm, and it is producing the 90. This is producing the 92% accuracy for earthquake prediction. And this is the confusion matrix of this. Any question?
Thank you so much for your presentation, ma'am. Sir, do you
Hello.
have questions?
Yeah. Thank you for the presentation. Can I ask the author how the accuracy is being measured?
92% accuracy we measure from the Gaussian Navy Bayes algorithm, and other algorithm we have applied, but the most of the highest accuracy we achieved from the Gaussian Navy Bayes algorithm.
But how was the deployment? Like, how you implemented?
We implemented on the Jupyter notebook by the Python. Deployment or implemented?
So how you vision this implementation in a real life? I hope my question was audible.
I think there is some kind of network issue from our side.
No worries, we can take the next presentation.
Can I give a comment? Can I give a comment, Dr. Prasad?
Yes, ma'am. Actually,
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I think from the first presenter, yeah, I think the committee should be more strict for this one. I take this seriously, but I don't think the first presenter take this conference seriously. So for the future, I would like the committee to be more strict about this. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am. We'll look into it. So next up, we have Vijay Makwana, to present his paper titled Exploring User Perspectives on Autonomous Language Learning and Evaluation of Leading Mobile Apps. Are you there, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. You may begin your presentation.
Let me share.
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible. You may begin.
Okay. So, this is the title of my research paper, Exploring User Perspectives on Autonomous Language Learning and Evaluation of Leading Mobile Apps. So, I'm Dr. Vijay Makwana, and currently I'm working with Charodar University of Science and Technology, Gujarat, India. And I've been in the field of language teaching for almost 15 years. And after I completed my PhD in 2020, which was on technology integrated language teaching, I got more interested in exploring that how technology can be efficiently integrated into language teaching learning. Okay, and this research paper is somewhat an outcome of that interest to explore the user perspectives. I'd like to give a brief background first. Did I change the slide? Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir. You are on
Okay.
the background slide, right?
Okay, okay. So first I would like to give you, the idea about MAL, that is Mobile Assisted Language Learning. Now, technology we have been using for years into education, into language teaching, especially after COVID. There has been surge in the number of users who what is it done to autonomous language learning, okay, self-directed language learning. Okay, of course, there has been a trend in the hybrid mode where teacher and technology together. But I know students who completely learn languages on their own, foreign languages on their own. And you can see in this graph, it's if you see the 2018 statistics, around 220 million US dollars. That was the market of the mobile language learning apps. And if you see the statistics in 2023, that number has reached to 1.08 billion US dollars. So there has been a tremendous growth when it comes to the number of users of the language learning apps. And then it poses a question that how effective this language learning apps are in catering the needs of the learners. Okay, now there has been several studies in the past already, which was exploring the effectiveness of technology, effectiveness of mobile in language learning. For example, Chen in 2013, he conducted a study that how effective this mobile language learning in vocabulary acquisition. And he found it quite effective. Similarly, in grammar learning, how effective it is. Sandler conducted the study in 2011. Okay, and overall language proficiency, how it can be achieved. Lee conducted that study in 2014. Okay, and there has been several studies which I came across where the researchers have tried to explore the perspectives of the users about the individual language learning apps like Duolingo, Memrise, okay, Muzu. They also try to explore how is their effectiveness for specific language skills, be it listening, speaking, reading, writing. Now here I could see a gap, okay, that most of the studies were, I could see that they were conducted considering the native learners. So I wanted to explore that. What is the non-native learners' perspective or experience of using these apps? Okay. Also, no, I wanted to explore various aspects, not just one specific skill, but what is their experience of improving all the four languages, that is listening, speaking, reading, writing, and also vocabulary. So there was a gap, and this research is an attempt to bridge that gap. Okay. So that was the idea. The focus of the research was to investigate the user's perspective on popular language learning apps. So I took into consideration the three leading apps, language learning apps. One is Duolingo, second is Babel, and the third is Memrise. Now, what was the criteria of selection of this three particular apps? So what I took into consideration was their popularity, the users' feedback about it, the rating, and these were the things kept into mind while selecting the three apps, and also the users. at my university, which apps are popular among them. And the goal was to understand how language learners engage with these apps and what is their perception experience of using these apps. Okay, so this was the research focus. And for the research objectives, I would say questions which my research tried to answer. Okay, number one, what were the primary motivation for using the apps? Why exactly? Was it the professional development? Was it the academic requirement? They just did it for their personal interest, out of their personal interest. So that I wanted to explore. Second is what functionality specifically they like about this different language learning apps. So that I wanted to explore. Thing is what challenges they are experiencing in using this different language learning apps, and that would help us to give feedback to this app designers, app developers, that what can be done to enhance the user experience. Okay, so this were the questions which my research study was an attempt to answer. And now I would like to talk about the methodology. The study had this mixed method design. I call it mixed method design because it consisted of two different tools for data collection. One for quantitative, and that was a survey. Okay, and second was in order to get the in-depth insight. Okay, I also used the in-person interviews of the selected participants. So for quantitative, a survey. For qualitative inputs, I use the in-depth interviews. Data collection tools, as I said, two, survey and in-depth interviews. Participant. Now here, the total number of participants who were a part of this study were 266 tertiary level learners. Now, when I say tertiary level learners here, it included UG, PG, and PhD students, learners of my university. Now, the total strength of the students in my university is 8,000 plus, and I floated this study among the students of Charles University. Okay, and I also ensure that when I take responses from the students, feedback about the apps, I ensure that there is a diverse representation. So I included the students from management, students from engineering, students from applied sciences, pharmacy, medical sciences, computer application. So I wanted to have this diverse representation of the learners in that. Another criteria for including the participants in this case was they must have used any of these three apps for the past 6 months regularly. So that was another criteria, so that we can get a very specific and robust feedback about the user experience. And once this study was conducted, I mean, this survey was conducted, out of those 266 participants, 25 students, again, diverse representation, they were selected for in-person, in-depth interview, which lasted for around 15 to 20 minutes, where they were asked specific questions about what was their motivation, the challenges they faced, the feature they like, what improvements, what are your suggestions for making these apps better, so that I can get qualitative, very specific, detailed inputs about their perspective of using these apps. And then the next part is data analysis, which consisted of descriptive and inferential statistics. And the interview data, the analysis of that was done through thematic analysis. So I wanted to see that what are those major themes which emerges, and in each theme, what were the specific inputs or insights from the learners. Into the demographic analysis, total 266 participants. The age range in this case was 18 to 35. You can see the higher age here in this case is 35 because I also included PhD scholars as participants. Male 47% and female 53%. So more or less you can see it's an equal representation again of the gender. And one very interesting thing which emerged during this data analysis is most frequently used apps. So Duolingo is a clear winner in this case. Okay, almost 72% of the participants say that they use Duolingo for language learning, for autonomous language learning. Babel is another very popular app which got 55%, okay, and Memrise 48. Now here you can see there are students who are using more than one app for language learning, because there are apps which provides good input for conversation. for daily conversation. And there are apps which are good for specifically for learning grammar inputs, okay, vocabulary. So there are users I came across who are using more than one app in this case. But clear winner you can see is Duolingo, 72% of the users. I also got to know about the average usage of the app, and that was around 15 to 20 minutes average. And most of the students said that they use this apps, language learning apps, usually during their commuting time. Now here I got a very interesting insights that one of the motivations for this language learners is that the convenience, anytime, anywhere learning. Okay, the flexibility. And since they were able to use this apps during their commuting time, they were liking it. They thought that they are able to make the productive use of their commuting time, which aligns with one of the previous series that is mentioned, a study conducted in 2000. And what are the motivations for app usage? Here, after analysis of the data, I could get to know that personal interest was the leading reason. 53% of the participants says that they are using this app here for the joy of learning. Okay, 53%. Professional development, 24% of the users say that they somewhere felt that they are lacking in grammar, vocabulary, okay, or they wanted to improve their language for future use for the professional development, and 24% of the users said that. Academic requirement, 11%. Some of the students said that it is part of their academics. The teachers have asked to take up a course or particular module on this language learning apps, and 11% of the students, learners said that they are using it for academic requirement. And travel, there are students who are planning to study abroad in Canada, in Australia, in Germany, and they said that their reason for using these apps for language learning was traveling. Okay, and I also wanted to check that does the motivation and app usage, is there any linkage? And there I know I came across this findings that uh, different motivation resulted into specific choice of the app. For example, those who are aiming for professional development, I found after the data analysis that they are more likely to use Babel app. Okay, and those who are motivated by the personal interest, they were more likely to use Duolingo. So this is another very interesting finding I came across in the learning preference. Now, I wanted to find out specifically that what is their preference of our feature, specifically functionality of they like about the app. And one of the things which emerged out of the discussion was, especially from the survey, was that short and frequent learning sessions. One of the students said that no, there are lessons which are of just 2 or 3 minutes. And that's a very bite-sized, quick learning of a concept, vocabulary, or a topic. And they said that that's wonderful. It's short. It doesn't require them to stay glued to the screen for a long time. And that is something they like. 65% of the users give preference to that. One of the users also mentioned that online courses are also a good source of learning language, but sometimes the lessons are too long. 20 minutes, 25 minutes, which is too long for especially these Gen Zs and millennials. They said that it was a bit long for them to stay glued to the screen for such a long time. So they gave preference to this bite-sized content. Another thing which the users really like is that the use of multimedia, the combination of visual and auditory learning materials. Okay, now we know educational psychology, which insists on multi-sensory approach. More senses involved, the better is the retention of the content. And that again was reflected in the study that 55% of the users say that they really like the interface. They really like the combination of audio and visual, which is somewhat lacking in the language classroom. There is a limitation of the teacher. Okay, so they said that this language learning apps, they are able to provide this multi-sensory approach to them. And 45% of the learners said that gamified learning experience is something they really liked. Okay, for example, one of the apps a student said offers word drop game, and that's a very interesting way of learning academic vocabulary. Otherwise, it becomes very dry to learn new words. He said that when we know the things are gamified, okay, it enhances the experience of learning. So these three specifically, I would say that they are the preferences okay, preferred features by the learners. Okay, and move to the next point is what is the perceived effective okay, challenges, sorry. And the challenges which the learners shared in case of autonomous language learning through mobile apps is maintaining motivation. Some of the users said that they enroll, they continue with the learning for a week or so too, and then there is a time where they drop. They don't continue with the learning. So maintaining that motivation, they said, is one of the challenges, because in this case, it has to be autonomous learning. And if the learner is highly motivated, self-directed, then would enjoy, will continue. But if the motivation level is low, then the learner is less likely to continue. So this is one of the challenges the students, the participants shared. Self-discipline, need for supplementary resources. In this case, some students said that the examples given in this app sometimes they sound foreign. The names are foreign, the context, the references are foreign. So they wanted the material to be more tailored, customized. For example, I mean, because most of these users are Indian ESL learners, English as a second language learner. So they wanted these examples to be more customized, tailored. Okay, so that was another theme which emerged. Contextualization, connecting with the content. Another is self-discipline and motivation. And I think this gives a good input for the app designers that they should try to more customize it as per the cultural need of the the person. Okay. Moving to the next, what is the learner's perception about the
Sorry to
improvement in the language?
sorry to interrupt you, sir, but can you please conclude your presentation within 2 minutes?
Sure, ma'am. I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay. Now this is about the what is the learner's perception about the improvement in the various language skills, vocabulary, grammar, listening, and speaking. And they were asked to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5. That what is their experience? How well they have developed this language skill. And in case of vocabulary and listening comprehension, the learners perceived that they had the highest improvement. The mean rating here is 3.85 to 3.76. Whereas in speaking and writing, they said that they experienced that there was a less improvement in their performance, in their proficiency. So here, there's a very important feedback for the app developer that they should try to integrate again now more material or better resources in order to develop speaking and writing too. Okay. These are some qualitative insights from the interviews. Again, now it mirrored what we found in the survey. No, again, this was an extension of that. Okay, I've already discussed this theme, so I won't reiterate that. Okay. These are the different discussions. So the learner, their diverse motivation, that was the first thing emerged. Okay. What they liked is the personalized learning path, gamification. Okay. Next, another thing which the learners know about this language learning apps is interactive features. They felt like as if they're talking to an individual, a teacher, a personal mentor. So some of the participants says that was a very good experience. Okay. The challenges were motivation and self-discipline. Some more material or better content is required for developing speaking and writing skills, as I said. Okay. And overall, no, I would say this study gives us an insight that what is the user's perspective about the use of the various language learning apps. Here, I would say one of the limitations of the study was that it included the students of Charmset University only. Again, it's a good representation from the students all over Gujarat because we have students from the entire country, in fact. But again, I would say with more students, okay, and maybe from different nationalities, different state, would have given a better insight about the comprehensive user experience, perception about the various language learning apps. But this study was an attempt, at least in that direction, to know what is the user's perception about the use of the various language learning apps. Recommendations, I will due to the time constraint, and now the questions are very related to the. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present.
Thank you so much for your presentation, sir. So do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Vijay, for the presentation.
Thank you so much.
So The first question is, what was the method being used for the sampling of the user?
Sorry, sir.
What was the method of sampling?
So it was purposive sampling in this case, I would say, because I wanted specific learners, also the learners who use this language learning apps for at least 6 months. So in every class, I teach across the university. So in every class, I made an announcement that we are conducting such survey, and the students who are using such apps, please enroll for as a participant. And then this form, this Google form was floated to those specific participants.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Dr. Vijay. If you think that your results are globally accepted based on the users that you have selected from the class, how do you justify that?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir. I missed the last part of your question.
So how do you justify that your results that you have taken from your class users or your students, but how it can be globally accepted, the results that you have mentioned?
First thing I would like to admit that, as I said in the one of the delimitations of the study, that I included the users from Gujarat. There was a diverse representation from various districts of Gujarat because we have students from various corners of Gujarat in our college. So 266, I would say, in a way, a good representation from the learners all over Gujarat. But as I said, I could have included more learners from other states, from other nationalities, but considering the limitation of the time, I could include only available participants only. So I would say that yes, there can be an extension of the study where there is a representation of the students from the other countries too. Okay. So that was definitely, I admit that was a delimitation or a limitation of this study, that it included the students from Gujarat region mostly.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
presentation. We will be moving on to the next presentation. Next up, we have Yanti to present her paper titled Momentum versus Technical Analysis, NFTs Investing Strategy. Are you there, ma'am? Ma'am, we are not able to hear you.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you may begin with your presentation, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Can you see my slides now?
Yes, ma'am, we can see your slides.
Visible, please go ahead. Thank you.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am, we can see
Okay,
your
right. Okay, so I'm Yanti Hutagal Marto Wijoyo. I will present the paper, Momentum versus Technical Analysis, a look into non-fungible tokens, NFTs, investing strategy. So this is a bit more into finance. So it's perhaps I would like to present it a bit slowly, just in case that you not really familiar with these finance terms. So as an introduction, we know that with the advance of digitations era, that in financial industry, there is a rising popularity of digital assets trading, such as cryptocurrencies. So what is a digital asset? It's a token that is created on the blockchain, and it has a unit of value. It can be traded, and the difference of digital assets to the other financial assets such as stocks and bonds are there is no underlying tangible assets such as company or firms. If it is stocks, then it is based on the firms or bonds. Yeah. So this is the unique assets, but it getting more popular recently, and now it's still keep increasing. So despite the increase of the interest worldwide, the financial literacy towards these new digital assets that are varies is still relatively low, and is heavily influenced by the reputations and perceptions of the populations. In this case, is the investors. most studies in the digital assets discuss about the safety, liquidity, and the risk in digital assets investment. Either it is in the trading to sell or to buy the digital assets. And then the valuations of the digital assets, the pricing of digital assets are difficult because we cannot use the traditional financial asset valuations method due to the lack of underlying assets to value. But we are trying to actually, in this paper, to copy the traditional financial asset portfolio measurements by using the technical analysis versus momentum to evaluate the NFTs portfolio. NFTs is one of the digital assets, non-fungible tokens that is actually has booming for the last 10 years. So this one, the quantum, is actually the first NFTs. You just see the token, this one, and then the trader or the one who owns this one just tell to the world, to the investment world, saying that, okay, this is my NFT. And then investors just buy and sell these tokens, but they don't actually hold this the pictures. So the second one, this one is the most famous, I think, the board apes of NFTs. So I don't know also why people would like to have this kind of pictures, but it is heavily traded, selling and sold and bought by investors. Then the investors get the money. NFTs, this is in Indonesia first NFT, which it's named Ghazali. He just pictured himself and then with the background of himself. And then it also get bought. It was bought and then traded, bought and sold very frequently and got the higher price. And then the return for the investors, actually, when they buy it in the lower price and then sell it in the higher price. So they get higher price, although they don't get the money. Yeah, they only have the investment. The NFTs can be used as a payment method in some countries only. In Indonesia, all digital asset is only for investment, not for the payment method. So these are the NFT studies. So the first one, that the NFTs actually is more into the portfolio, or making the portfolio, because it has a lot of covariance with the other digital assets such as the Bitcoins, so that it is good to have Bitcoins and NFTs in your portfolio so that your risk is getting lower. And then the portfolio, by including NFTs into your portfolio, it seems that it outperforms the performance of other portfolio. And also it is found that the NFT absorb the risk of other assets. So it's quite similar. So it decreasing the risk of your portfolio. Then the inclusions of the NFT is mixed. Diversified investment portfolio significantly boosts its risk-adjusted return. So it's more like the stocks as well. So NFTs can be used to reduce the risk of your investment portfolio. So now go into the research gap. What is known in the NFT studies and what is not known? I emphasize on the not known, unknown yet. So how is actually the NFTs are priced? Okay, are priced. So what is the determinants that affect the pricing? And what are the external factors that affects NFT markets? And how is the investing strategy in NFTs? So I focus on the last one. How is the investing strategy in NFTs? by using the equity or the stocks investing strategy, a momentum versus the technical trading. So these are the research opportunity. It has been started by other, but then there is a limitation. So we gather all this research opportunity. Again, we actually focus on the last question, that is the investing strategy for the NFT using the equity or stocks investing strategy. Okay, so this is in terms of the pricing, what we know and what we don't know. There's evidence saying that it is inefficient in terms of pricing, but the high risk, high rewards. So it's in the finance, it is normal. If you want to invest in the higher risk, of course, you will expect higher return. So, but what we don't know to what degree is the factors, those factors playing in the pricing models, and then is there any fundamentals that can be used as a base to price the NFTs? Then, how do we collect? How did we collect the data? So we use the open source data, which is the NFTs.com. So we choose only the top 15 NFTs. Why top 15 NFTs? Because this actually the top NFTs in the period that we collect the data is took like 90% of the valuations of all market. And then as a benchmark, we use the NFT index. Then we check the select top 3 for portfolio, because from this top 15 NFTs, every day the prices is actually changes. So based on the changes of the prices, so we select the 3 for portfolio, and it is equally weighted as used by other authors as well. As daily prices changes, we rebalance the top 3 every week. So the weekly basis, as also used by other investment papers. So we average the US dollar of the NFT used to calculate the returns. Then how we analyze it. So for each portfolio, which is rebalanced every week, we construct the portfolio using the technical analysis. For the technical analysis, using this moving average. And then for momentum, we do the weekly rebalancing. Then we analyze the abnormal return, differential statistic, the Sharpe, trainer, kurtosis, and skewness, that they are the performance indicator of the portfolio performance. And then we do the Anofati test for significance, whether they are different or not between the one method, which is the technical analysis, and the momentum. So this is the results for the momentum. So the average excess return is 1,614%. So can you imagine in a week, if you invest in NFT, you get the excess return, the abnormal return, about 1,614%. And the minimum weekly excess return only 1. But then the maximum one, when you are lucky, you will get the maximum weekly excess return, something like this. The Sharpe ratio is 0.259, which is actually low in terms of the performance, because you see the difference between this one and the standard deviations, the fluctuations that makes the Sharpe ratio is lower. And even it is negative in the trainer ratio. If trainer ratio is lower than 0, it means actually the performance is not good, because the market actually beats your portfolio return. So this is for the momentum, but similar result, although different numbers, we found in technical analysis. So it seems that both are the same, that we do the statistical test in terms of this statistics, and then we got this one as the comparisons, that it's all is insignificantly different. So whether you use the momentum, whether you use technical analysis, it doesn't matter. So you will get the mean or the average of return is quite high weekly. However, it shows here the momentum is actually higher than the technical analysis. If you construct the portfolio using technical and momentum, momentum is better. However, statistically, it is insignificant. So some notes is that the portfolio with the maximum returns are constructed in the same year with the same compositions, of course, because our sample is actually across the year. So we have to taking care of that. So we the 2022 are the maximum return happens, but then it decreasing. The loot NFT, so one of the NFT, greatly influenced by the momentum results because of the inflation in 2023, while the NFT index and portfolio is move opposite directions. That's why the trainer ratio is negative. According to the our study is actually similar to what is found by the other authors in the momentum studies as well as the technical studies. Then I'll come to the conclusions remark. Momentum is better strategy to construct the portfolio for the NFTs rather the technical analysis method. However, insignificant result, as explained by Marshall et al., the insignificant results because there's no underlying asset actually. Yeah, so both strategy outperform market, but maybe coincidence because of what? Because of the inflation in 2023. The second one also we can see the proof from the trainer ratio, which is lower than 0. The limitations, because of the nature of technical analysis, it is a bit, and then the limitations of the NFTs or all digital assets measurements. So risk analysis not considered for the technical analysis, but we by the nature of how we construct the portfolio in the using the momentum, somehow automatically the risk is adjusted. And also the sample period limitation, because the accessibility, we can only access the website of the NFTs for a month. So what we do is that like every month we download the data, and then we cannot access that if it already moved to another month. So the summary is that none of the equity portfolio can reliably be applied to the NFTs portfolio strategy. There are still factors that we haven't known yet that affects more into the NFT trading portfolio trading strategy. And maybe also the NFT investment might be a hype, although there are still positive big excess returns we find in the market at the moment, but it's getting lower in a sense that maybe it is only a hype. So we will see again perhaps another digital assets that will be replacing NFTs in a way, but it's now, until now, it's there. Okay, so that's all my presentations, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you for the insightful presentation. I would just wanted to ask, what are the implications of your result?
Yeah, the implications of my research is for the academic ones, we still have other avenues to find what is actually the best or better strategy to invest in NFTs. So it seems that we cannot rely on the current method by using like stocks or bonds in trading strategy, but then perhaps there are others.
Okay, wish you all the best for your future endeavors. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So moving on to the next presentation, we have Shini to present her paper titled Skin Disease Prediction Based on Anomaly Detection. Are you there, ma'am?
Yes.
You may please begin your presentation, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm Shini S. So my paper is Skin Disease Prediction Based on Anomaly Detection. So I'm from Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, Amritapuri, India. As we all know that skin diseases become common among people these days, like from very small skin acne to extreme skin cancer conditions. Like whenever we go for a dermatologist for the identification of the disease, it is a time-consuming process. So to avoid that process, we actually came up with this two-stage approach using anomaly detection and deep learning
Hello.
to improve skin. Hello.
Can you make it a full screen?
Yeah. Okay. So we are using two-stage approach using anomaly detection and deep learning to improve the skin disease diagnosis. And the objective, like why we are the objective is in our paper is that like using anomaly detection with the deep learning models, like it will improve the accuracy and efficiency of skin disease prediction. By doing that, it will help to enhance the patient's outcome by enabling earlier detection and more accurate diagnosis. This is our system architecture where we input the skin disease image data set for the image processing. Then after image processing, we get the pre-processed data that will be sent put it for the anomaly detection, where we use that isolation forest method for the anomaly detection. And we get the anomalous skin images. It will be passed for the skin disease prediction, where we are using a deep learning models, three deep learning models, and to increase the accuracy, we are also doing the hyperparameter tuning. And after that, in skin disease prediction, we are actually we will train the models with different types of disease. So whenever we after finding the anomalous skin images, the anomalous skin image will be passed to the skin disease prediction, where we can able to identify which diseases it is. That's what we are predicting, and we do a model evaluation to identify which model is giving better result, and we do a little evaluation also, like with anomaly detection, without anomaly detection. And this is our methodology for anomaly detection. We are using isolation forest for the deep learning multi-class classifier. We are using multi-class classifiers, that is VGG90, Inception V3, and ResNet 50. Anomaly detection is a technique that is used to identify data points that significantly deviates from the expected pattern. It also acts as a pre-processing step that ensures that the classifier only need to focus on the relevant images or only the anomalous images. That's why we are using anomaly detection, so that it will improve the accuracy, and we not accuracy, we get more accurate results. And for the isolation forest, isolation forest is a method that we are using for the anomaly detection. So it is an unsupervised model. Its main principle of isolation forest is that anomalies are observations that are few and different, so that it will easier to identify. It will easier to identify them. So the algorithm of this the working of the isolation forest is that, like we will select we randomly select a feature from a given set of features, then randomly select a split value between the maximum and minimum value of that feature, And this random partition of features will produce a shorter path. The shorter path like shows that it is a anomalous images, and if the path is deeper, then it will be considered as normal images, normal point. We also after the creation of trees, we will calculate a anomaly score. If the score comes in close to 1, it will indicate anomaly, or if the score is closer to 0.5, then we will suggest that normal. And this is the output that we get after the anomaly detection, where we get the normal images in one folder and anomalous images will be in one folder. And these anomaly images will be passed for the indices prediction, where we are used 3 models, where that is VGG90, Inception V3, and ResNet 50. And in VGG90, VGG90 is a deep convolutional neural network with a simple architecture of consisting stacked convolutional neural network. Stacked convolution layers and max pooling layers. And the VGG90 consists of 60 convolution layers and 3 fully connected layers. And in input layer, it have to we input the RGB image of 224 by 224 pixels, and then we will move it for convolution layers for extracting features, where it has 60 convolution layers grouped into blocks, and it will be 3 by 3 filters with a stride of 1. And then after getting the feature map, we will be passed for the pooling layer, where we reduce the image size by extracting necessary pixel point, and with 2 by 2 filter with a stride of 2. And then we will pass it for the fully connected layers, and the output is flattened and the fed into 3 fully connected layers. Then there is a softmax layer, where like the features are collected. After features are outputted from the fully connected layer, we will pass it for softmax layer, where it will distribute the probabilities for each class. And before like putting the anomalous images to this VGG model, we are training the models with the diseases images, like the skin disease images with so the different types of 7 different types of skin disease images will be trained, so that when a new unseen image comes, it can identify like which class it belongs to. And the next model is Inception V3. Inception V3 also have a deep convolution neural network architecture, where it can the first layer is the input layer, where we input the image, and then we do the extraction by using convolution layers and max pooling, and also followed by max pooling. And the third, we do the classification, where feature maps are flattened and passed through fully connected layers, and the output will be like the probability. If the probability is high, then it will be the classified as that class. Like the disease is that type of disease, we can consider that. This is ResNet 50, and ResNet 50 is ResNet 50 is also a deep convolution neural network, where we have one more block that is resider blocks. Resider block. In resider block, where the image is processed through multiple stages of resider blocks, each consisting of 1 by 1, where 1 by 1 convolution layers to increase the number of channels, and 1 by 3 by 3 to extract features, and 1 by 1 to reduce the number of channels also. So average pooling reduces the dimension to one-dimensional vectors. Our fully connected layers, the one-dimensional vector will be passed through the fully connected layers for classification. Output layer also softmax. So the output is transformed into class probabilities using the softmax activation function. And after we are done the prediction, we also do the hyperparameter tuning for the models to increase the model's accuracy. After hyperparameter tuning, we can able to see that there is a slight increase in the accuracy after hyperparameter tuning. The models are having slight increase in their accuracy levels. That's the light blue color indicates in the graph. And the evaluation metrics that we used for like identifying which model is better, that are accuracy, precision, and recall. The TP means true positives, the number of correctly classified positive cases, and false positive means the number of images incorrectly classified as positive, and false the number of actual positive cases that were not identified by the model. And after like this is the first table shows that the anomaly like the precision recall occurred. The precision and recall method that like the result evaluation after the evaluation with the anomaly detection. Sorry, sir, for the noise. So the anomaly the results obtained after the evaluation, we can able to identify this is the first table that showing which with the anomaly detection. This is the evaluation that is happened with the anomaly detection, where we can see the inception V3 having the highest value, and the earlier I told that there will be like comparison like with anomaly detection without anomaly detection. We can see from this both table that like with anomaly detection have the more accuracy than the without anomaly detection. And after that's we like in a graph like representation where after anomaly detection the accuracy levels are increasing. That is the light blue color indicates. And for the conclusion, we have used the two-stage approach for indices detection using anomaly detection and deep learning. Then we achieved by the 95% accuracy in inception V3, and in future we can include more images so that it will be easier. So it will become more easier to identify. And these are the references. And thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation, ma'am. Sir, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. What kind of diseases that you covered, and what are the limitations of your research work?
Okay. So we covered like melanoma and like ringworm, that type of diseases we are like, and other disease also, but and diseases we are like identified predicted, and that's
Okay,
and the
thank you.
limitations.
Yeah, please go ahead.
The limitations, you know, sometimes like we can't do with a lot of image data set, like so it is one of the limitations that we have. Thank you.
So thank you so much for your presentation, ma'am. So we'll be moving on to the next presentation. Next, we have Aldo to present the paper titled The Importance of Generating and Interrupting Manufacturing Drawings, a Contribution to Engineering Education. Are you there? Are you there? Okay. Do we have Arena to present her paper? Do we have Irena to present her paper? So I would sincerely like to thank our authors for their excellent presentations and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough for each one of you. We, on the behalf of the whole team, thank you for your support during the third version and all the previous two versions of this conference. We will be happy to have you in the fourth version in 2025 as well. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates within 2 working days on your email. All the papers have already been forwarded to Springer. The publication will be live within 6 months, so kindly cooperate with the team of ISBM 2024. I would also like to take a moment to thank our session chair, Dr. Prashant Dhotre, for chairing this session. So this is a token of appreciation on the behalf of the whole team of Team ISBM 2024 and Global Knowledge Research Foundation and partners. So would you like to share a quick closing remark with us?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Anisha, for the organizing this particular session. At the outset, I would like to congratulate all the presentation for their wonderful presentation. The diversity in this particular conference and particularly this session has been very diversified, and we have seen several topics which has been presented, and the research were insightful, and definitely it will have an impact in coming time. And thank you to the GR Foundation for giving the opportunity. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much for your valuable presence, sir. I would request everyone to please turn on the cameras for a quick snapshot. Thank you so much, everyone, for your valuable presence. Looking forward to seeing you all again. Thank you.